In today's video, we're going to talk about Jellyfish Christianity, and we're going to read an old article from a preacher named J.C. Ryle, and I know you're going to love this thing. It's going to be so good, so stick with us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and hit your like button if you're here, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you would, please. We know that we have a lot of good content coming up. I've got a list of things I want to talk about, and I know this will be edifying to you and strengthen you in your walk with the Lord. And I want to read this article from this old preacher, J.C. Ryle. It's an article called Jellyfish Christianity. And if you'll notice on the screen behind me, I have the jellyfish going just for effect's sake, because I am hyper creative like that, just so you know. And so we're going to read this, and it's going to be really good. It says, the consequences of this very widespread dislike to distinct Bible doctrine are very serious. That sounds like he believes doctrine matters. He said, whether we like it or not, it is an epidemic which is doing great harm, and especially among young people. It creates, fosters, and keeps up an immense amount of instability in religion. It produces what I must venture to call, if I may coin the phrase, a jellyfish Christianity in the land. That is a Christianity without bone or muscle or power. Boy, that's true. A jellyfish has, as anyone who has ever been much by the seaside knows, is a pretty and graceful object when it floats in the sea, and contracting, expanding like a little delicate transparent umbrella. Yet the same jellyfish, when cast on the shore, is a mere helpless lump without capacity for movement, self-defense, or self-preservation. Alas, it is a vivid type of much of the religion of this day, which the leading principle is no dogma, no distinct beliefs, no doctrine. We have hundreds of ministers who seem not to have a single bone in their body of divinity. They have no definite opinions. They are so afraid of extreme views that they have no views at all. We have thousands of sermons preached every year which are without an edge or a point or a corner. They are as smooth as marble balls, awakening no sinner and edifying no saint. We have legions of young men annually turned out from our universities armed with a few scraps of second-hand philosophy, who think it a mark of cleverness and intellect to have no decided opinions about anything in religion, and to be utterly unable to make up their minds as to what is Christian truth. Their only creed is a kind of nothingism. They are sure and positive about nothing. The last and worst of all, we have myriads of respectable church-going people who have no distinct and definite views about any point in theology. They cannot discern things that differ more than any colorblind person can distinguish colors. They think everybody's right, nobody's wrong, everything is true, and nothing is false. All sermons are good, and none are bad. Every clergyman is sound, and no clergyman unsound. Does that sound familiar to you guys? It sounds really familiar to me. It says, they are tossed to and fro like children by every wind of doctrine, often carried away by some new excitement and sensational movement, ever ready for new things because they have no firm grasp on the old, and utterly unable to render a reason for the hope that is in them. All this and much more is the result of that effeminate dread of distinct doctrine which has been so strongly developed and has laid such a hold on so many pastors in these days. I turn from the picture that I have exhibited with a sorrowful heart. I grant it is a gloomy one, but I am afraid it is only too accurate and true. Let us not deceive ourselves. Distinct and definite doctrine is at a premium just now. Instability and unsettled notions are the natural result and meet us in every direction. Cleverness and earnestness are the favorite idols of the age. And he even goes on to say here, what a man says matters nothing, however strange and heterogeneous are the opinions he expresses, if he is only brilliant and earnest. He cannot be wrong. Never was it so important for believers to hold sound systematic views of truth, and for ministers to enunciate doctrine very clearly and distinctly in their teaching. Basically what he's saying here is an old English way of saying, basically if people say, I like that preacher, then they'll give him a pass on his heresy. They were doing it back then, and I think that they're doing it now. And I want to say today that we need some people who have some conviction, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Thank you, Mr. Ryle. And if you want to learn more about him, you can go look him up. He's a great blessing. We're actually going to reprint several of his books here in the very near future. But God help us today. Spare us from this jellyfish Christianity that has no spine, no muscle, no conviction, and won't stand against anything. My friend, I want to tell you today, God bless you if you stand for truth in this day and age. We hope that you have a good day, and God bless you all. There was a day where I was sitting at my desk, and I was studying the false religions of the world, and it all just clicked. The Lord revealed things to me that I just had to get out. And I dedicated a large portion of my time to this. We put documentaries together trying to explain to you this grand illusion that was materializing right before my very eyes. We told you, and we told you, and we told you it was coming. And the reaction was mixed. Some people said this was the greatest thing they'd ever seen. Some people said that I was just another Pharisee, just another false teacher. We'll let the Lord decide. But we've tried to tell you every angle of this that we knew, and we've tried to reveal it to you. This is so wicked that even the Apostle John, when he saw it, he marveled and wondered. So what more is there for me to do? The only thing I can tell you now, stop everything you're doing and go watch Third Adam. Your very soul may be at stake.
Stronger, what you're up against becomes easier. God didn't lessen what came against you. He simply... We need to see difficulties in a new light. Instead of being upset, under your breath, just whisper, "Thank you, you just served me."
Oh.
Before Jesus could be crucified and rise from the dead, he had to be betrayed.
That's just...
If everyone would have loved Jesus, if everyone would have been for him, we wouldn't have salvation. Judas didn't come up with that on his own. He was a pawn in the hand of God. He was serving Jesus' destiny. Jesus understood without the betrayal, he couldn't fulfill his purpose. You could say that Judas did more for Jesus than any of the other disciples. Patient to overlook an offense. The scripture said you need them to reach your destiny. From A to B to C. Sometimes he's going to finish.
1 hour later. 3 hours later.
Joseph did. As a
Approximately 10 hours later.
Wow, this book made me feel a lot better. Everybody should have a copy of the Doctrine Matters Bible Topic Guidebook. Order yours today.
Joseph had plenty of reasons to live better, but you never read where he complained. You never read where he had a bad attitude.